We have just understandably had a lot of people asking for specific details on what type of cancer dad has, what stage of cancer he has, and just kind of people reaching out with advice on how to get through that traditional chemo treatment, people sending us recommendations on alternative therapies, and we have realized that there have been some missing pieces in us sharing Dad's story with you, and I've been meaning to share that, but I haven't yet, so now I am. Dad started noticing a mass in his neck on his left side here, kind of where his lymph nodes are, when they still lived in Tennessee. So could have been 10 years ago. And his doctor there just kind of brushed it off. And then he brought it to the attention of other doctors, including his cardiologist, within the last maybe 5 years. It's something that has just been persistent over a good decade. So that's kind of where the story begins. Come to, I think, December this year, the mass had gotten larger, and my mom was being treated, about to have a hysterectomy for endometrial cancer for herself. So Dad just kind of set this to the side until Mom got through her cancer, and we get to around early April, when Dad says, I feel like I might need to go see our doctor, maybe ask for some scans and see what's up with this. In retrospect, we look back there, probably in the last 5 years, it has been really difficult for Dad to gain weight. In fact, he's lost weight. He's been just really, really thin. If you know Dad, he's very healthy. He's always been very fit. His blood labs are still excellent to this day. He's a cyclist. He was a runner. So he's been very fit. So there have not been any other red flags other than his Lyme's disease that he was diagnosed with probably, maybe 5 years ago. And now in retrospect with this cancer diagnosis, it seems that it's kind of like a chicken or the egg kind of a thing. Maybe one caused another, or one masked symptoms of another. So Dad was treated by a functional doctor, diagnosed with Lyme's. He did test positive for Lyme's, and did all the protocols for that. A lot of the pain areas on his left side from the Lyme's are also similar pain areas with the cancer. So all that to say is Dad has probably been battling this cancer, we think, from other signs and symptoms could be up to a decade. So it's not a fast cancer. Neither Dad or Mom got the jab. A lot of people have asked about that, especially thinking that it was a cancer that kind of turbo cancer, but they did not. Is actually quite possibly a very slow growing cancer that was just undiagnosed for many, many years. The PET scan actually showed probably this area being the primary tumor. Dad has not had a biopsy, so Dad has decided that he does not want to be in a hospital. He hates hospitals. He does not want to take all the chemotherapy that's going to destroy his immune system. So he has chosen to go an alternative integrative medicine route. So he's not in a hospital, at a cancer treatment center. So he had a PET scan that found that this big mass in his neck has an SUV uptake of 10.8. That's basically how much glucose the tumor eats during the PET scan. A typical, normal cancer spot or tumor will be maybe around, an aggressive one would be around a 5 or a 6. They say the scale goes to 10 and beyond. So Dad is an and beyond with this one. It's been very hypermetabolically active for a very long time. So we believe that this is the primary tumor site because it's the most metabolically active. He has other metabolically active spots, a few small ones in his lungs, a large tumor on his C1, C2 vertebra, and kind of invading his spine there, and also between his scapula, lower down on his thoracic spine. He has many bone lesions. So because of that, he's been diagnosed stage 4 cancer, likely some form of what used to be an indolent cancer, which is a lazy, slow cancer that now quite possibly is an aggressive cancer, has kind of changed. But his radiologist said he thinks it's head and neck cancer, which is also a thing. One of the symptoms of head and neck cancer is voice changes, and it was about 10 years ago that Dad started getting something called high voice. Mom calls it his high voice when he gets fatigued. If he's outside, she thinks it's because he hasn't been drinking enough water, but his voice gets really high. Voice changes like that are common with head and neck or throat cancers. So we aren't sure which type of cancer he has. He has not gotten a biopsy because biopsies are for that normal standard of care protocol so that they can say, this is what cancer you have. These are the chemos that we treat, that we give people with that cancer. So Dad doesn't have a biopsy. It is stage 4 because it's on his bones. It's all throughout his skeleton. It is not, praise the Lord, in any of his vital organs. His blood labs are still great. His liver's good. His spleen's good. All is good. So he still has a fighting chance. He did see his general practitioner at first and try to fight it with only ivermectin, high-dose ivermectin and fenbendazole. Many of you have sent me information on that. He is still on those, but that is what he tried at first. He gave it a good 4 to 6 weeks to see if that would make any difference. And the pain in his vertebrae where he has the tumors had got pretty bad to the point where he knew that it was time to look into official cancer treatment, which is what Mom and I did. Before he went to where he is, we thought he would probably go to a cancer treatment center in Arizona. That seemed to be where they all were, all the integrative centers. And Mom and I, one Monday, we made an appointment for me to come over and make phone calls and ask questions. And we called the 2 main ones that we thought that we would be choosing from, and got off the phone with them and just did not have peace. Something just didn't feel right about them. It just wasn't right. So we were like, why? Certainly there's got to be something in Florida. So Mom and I open up our laptops and start Googling integrative cancer centers in Florida, and we find LifeWorks in Clearwater. And we call LifeWorks on Monday. It's Monday afternoon, like 3 o'clock. The lady we talked to answers all of our questions, says everything that we wanted to hear from her, and miraculously has an appointment with Dr. Minkoff, the founding practitioner there, on Wednesday at 1:30. So this was Monday at like 3:30 in the afternoon, and Mom's like, yes. So she books it. We tell Dad. We all have tears. Mind you, we've clearly been praying through every step of the way just for the Lord to make that path clear. And of course he did. So that's how we found LifeWorks. We brought Dad to LifeWorks, got him checked in, and that's where he's getting his treatment now. It is an integrative medical facility. He did, under the recommendation of Dr. Minkoff, he did go through 10 rounds of radiation. I know Mom's talked about that on here, but that radiation was specifically to target the lesions, the tumors growing on his spine, because his bone lesions are very susceptible to breakage, and because they are right on his spine, he was at very high risk of sudden fracture and paralysis or death due to the location of those bone lesions. And targeted isolated radiation to bone lesions apparently has an incredible healing effect on bones. Like, bones really respond to that. Now, they didn't do it all over his bones where he has the lesions everywhere, just those, because they were the points of high pain and high risk. That radiologist also decided to zap Dad's tumor, not by the request of his directing physician or by us. we're trusting in the Lord on that one because that was kind of a surprise to us that he decided to start zapping that there. But this is why Dad's having all the issues with his throat, and his doctor basically said he's got 3rd-degree burns all down his throat. So not only does he not have an appetite, it hurts. He has no saliva in his mouth. It hurts to swallow, it hurts to talk. So we're just praying for healing for that. Supposedly like 6 to 8 weeks after radiation is when that should be healed. We're praying for faster healing, and in the meantime, just the ability for Dad to sleep with the saliva issues. His mouth is dry. He's sleeping sitting up now on a sofa. So that's just a continued prayer right now. So he had that radiation. He did all 10 treatments. We can safely assume that his spine is no longer at high risk of fracture. So that's awesome. The good news is when he first went to LifeWorks, he started on, I don't know, probably 50 something different supplements. One of the most important supplements called Meragen and AIC specifically has proven ability to heal bone lesions, like remarkably. So over the last 3 years, Dr. Minkoff has been using that in his clinic, and Dad, that is his most important supplement he's doing right now is the Meragen. He's still on the ivermectin, he's still on the fenbendazole, high-dose IV therapies of vitamin C, curcumin. He's taking mistletoe injections, peptide injections. He's got a list a mile long of supplements he's taking. In the clinic, he is taking cocoon baths, K-A-Q-U-Q-U-N, cocoon, like an oxygen bath. Early morning up to 9 o'clock at night, Mom's taking him there because tumors don't like oxygen. So he's getting the oxygen bath several times a day, up to 7 days a week. Going in a hyperbaric oxygen chamber several times a week, maybe every day. He is starting next week hyperthermia. He will be sedated through his port he just got last week because they're going to be raising his body temperature with that. He's got like this special wool suit he has to wear and sit in this chamber where just his head sits out. And I think they bring his body temperature up to like 105 or 160 degrees because the cancer cells do not like heat, kind of like a fever. Any type of virus or anything like that doesn't do well with heat. So they're going to burn it out that way. What's really exciting is when he first did his first appointment with Dr. Minkoff, they took a lot of blood and samples. They're testing all of his heavy metals, mold toxins, rechecking him for different Lyme's bacteria. And they sent his blood off to a lab in Greece where they isolate his cancer stem cells. This is why he didn't need to have a biopsy. They isolated his cancer stem cells and applied over 180, all of the different possible chemotherapies there are, in addition to a ton of nutraceuticals and other things. 180 different things they tested on his specific cancer stem cells to see what kills his cancer stem cells. And they got that result back last week, and they found 2 chemotherapies, like on an 82, 83, and they say they want to see the treatment result be an 80 or above for them to use it. And so he's got 2 chemotherapies and something else they're going to be putting together in a concoction for him specifically for his low-dose chemo. Note, he's also on a very strict high-fat, very low, 12 carbs a day keto diet because we know that his tumors are very metabolically active and very hungry for glucose. So he hasn't had glucose in a long time. So it's being starved of glucose, it's being attacked with oxygen, it's being attacked with heat, it's being attacked with all the supplements, and now he has his port. So on Monday he gets to start his IPT, which is insulin potentiated chemotherapy. And what they do is his specific chemotherapy concoction that they're putting together with him based on the results of his blood labs, it's going to be combined with insulin. So that's going to go into his port. His tumors that are very metabolically active have been sitting around waiting for glucose, and it's finally going to get it. He's going to get glucose in his body, but that glucose is going to be basically infused with the chemotherapies that target his cancer stem cells. So he will be getting 10 of those IPT chemotherapies over the next 8 weeks, 2 for the first 2 weeks, and then 1 every week after. And then they'll do a new PET scan and see if he has any cancer left, and then we'll reassess. He had root canals done over a decade ago, probably about 15 years ago. So before this tumor, this mass became a thing, he had 2 root canals here. Dr. Minkoff referred Dad to a biological dentist who did a cone image and was able to see that these were very, very abscessed, probably have been since not long after he got the root canals. So Dr. Minkoff believes that that is probably the source. His immune system, with your lymph system right here, has been fighting these abscessed root canals for so many years that finally it just gave in to cancer. And Dad had those taken out. We're super excited about that. He's got another one here and another one over here that are going to be removed as well soon. But these were the most important ones because of its location with the tumor. So basically, they're in Clearwater. They're in an Airbnb about 30 minutes from the clinic. And Mom just drives him back several times a day. And he has gone through phases, especially during the radiation, where he was very much just like a zombie. It was very scary. There were times when Mom couldn't get him to eat more than 300 calories a day. But he's definitely turned a new leaf since finishing radiation, getting this surgery. He's much more talkative, and he ate 2,300 calories a few days ago. So our main prayer is that Dad will keep eating more than he needs so that he can put on weight, not lose it, not stay the same weight he is, but he needs to put on weight now. And that Mom has the strength and energy she needs to continue to care for him. And Audrey and I are trying to take turns to go up there as often as we can. It's about 3 hours from us. July 1st, I'm going to be helping them move into a new condo to rent that they'll have for at least 2 more months while they're there, Clearwater. So this new condo in a community, it's a condominium, not just a house. So there's a central pool where Mom can make some friends. She already met somebody when she toured it for the first time, and Mom definitely needs that. Yeah, so just keep them in your prayers as they switch to this new location. They'll be a little bit closer to the clinic, but they'll also feel a little bit less alone, I think, for sure. Thanks for keeping up, and we'll continue to make posts as we have them. Feel free to ask questions. We are looking forward to coming back to you with a healing journey. We trust God with Dad. We know that His will be done. We also know that according to Scripture, people have been healed because of their prayers. King Hezekiah, I think he had a fatal disease, and I think the Lord gave him 10 extra years on his life. We're asking for 20 for Dad. And we know that the Lord delights in answering our prayers. We are thankful that you all are joining us in that. So thank you.